Welcome, everybody, to another live edition of the Unquestionably Raw NBA podcast. We just had another conference final game, this time out west, Rockets, Golden State. The Golden State Warriors beat the Houston Rockets by 13 points tonight, and I know the Rockets were really confident. A lot of Rockets fans thought this was the year. Even a lot of the writers, they thought the Rockets could win this. Obviously, that's not what happened tonight. I got to go to you, Gonzo. What were your overall thoughts on tonight's game between the Rockets and the Warriors?
I think Golden State paced himself. Paced himself properly. I think they played good help defense. They played good pick and roll defense. I think that they pushed the ball when they needed to. They got the ball to the open man. Their shots just came easy. We talked about this before. We talked about this on the podcast before, and last year we talked about it. Like Golden State, the Houston Rockets shoot a lot of threes, but usually their percentage is like in the middle of the pack. Golden State shoots a lot of threes, but their percentage is close to what you would probably make from free throw. Not to say 50%, but they shoot probably 3-point percentage as a team, probably well above 39%. You know, so
I actually got those stats. The Warriors shot about 30. They shot 39% from three. The Rockets were 35%. They both made 13 threes tonight.
And see, 39% from three as a team, that's actually on the higher end. Mm-hmm. Pretty much that's a good percentage as a team. 35% isn't bad either. But the point I'm trying to make is that Houston shoots a lot of them. To be shooting 35%, you would expect them to shoot a higher percentage due to the fact they're shooting a lot of them, but they're not. You know, Golden State is just more efficient. They have a weapon. They have a weapon for every weapon that Houston has. They have a defensive weapon for every offensive weapon that Houston has, and Houston just doesn't have an answer for Durant. They don't have an answer for Klay Thompson. They don't have an answer for Curry. They don't have an answer for Nick Young and Livingston. They just don't. Like today, Clint Capella looked like a superstar in those first two series. He looked like a superstar against the Timberwolves and the Utah Jazz due to the fact that Minnesota and Utah have two slow big men. That's not the case. You got Looney in there. You have an athletic 6'10", 6'11" guy. You put JaVale McGee in there if he possibly gets in the series. You still have another athletic 7-foot guy.
And Draymond Green, Kevin Durant.
Then so that again, it kind of takes Clint Capella out of his element now because he's not able to feast on slow big men now. Now you're dealing with guys with some sort of skill or some type of speed that counteracts what you're able to do. So. I mean, in Golden State, they executed fine. And Steve Curry, if you just listen to Total Talk to Steph Curry, the type of coaching that he has, he makes adjustments, but he keeps his players calm during the storm.
Yes.
Okay, we know this game is tight. He keeps them calm. And, he's reassuring to them. So he gives them confidence to let them know pretty much that the game ain't over. It's over when we want it to be over. So keep playing our game. And as long as we stay according to the plan, there's no way we can lose. And when you got coaching like that, and like I said, all the way from top management all the way down to the last guy on the bench or on the roster, man, it's hard to beat a team like that. They play basketball in its purest form.
Absolutely. And another thing, when you talk about overall field goal percentage, the Warriors were 53%, the Rockets were 46%. Then you have the 13 turnovers by the Rockets, 9 turnovers by Golden State. Rockets were 15 of 21 from the foul line. Warriors were 22 out of 25. Attempts were close to even, but the Warriors made their shots. Chris Paul missed some. James Harden missed some foul shots. So, I mean, that really hurt. But I thought they did, for the most part, they did a really good job on James Harden, limiting him from getting to the free throw line, which the Warriors have historically done. They keep their hands up. They don't let him get to the line. He scored a lot of points tonight. He had 41 points, shot well from the field, but he was shooting. He was playing one-on-one and hitting good jump shots. Curry played him really well on 4 or 5 possessions, but Harden just hits the jump shot. You saw that, right?
Absolutely. Curry did the right thing. I mean, he didn't slide in on his feet. He just kept his hands up and in his face. I mean, that's the best you can do. Like, honestly, we have to come to the realization that you're not going to stop a superstar from scoring. He's going to get his buckets. The only thing you can do is make it hard for him to score. That's the only thing you can do. Don't give him a easy line of sight to the basket. Don't make him comfortable in certain spots where he likes to shoot. But that's the most you can do, and Curry on the 4 or 5 possession that he played, James Harden, I think he played him very well. But I think Golden State, they're just a smart team, man. Like it's hard to put it into words how great of a game of basketball that they play. It's easy for people to hate them because they just see the names of Kevin Durant, they see the names of Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, Draymond Green. They just look at the names. But true basketball fans are actually looking at the product that they put in the basketball court. It is basketball the way it is meant to be played. It is very Red Auerbach-ish. You know what I'm saying? It's about fundamentals, passing the ball. You getting 5 passes per possession. Nothing less than that. All the buckets come easy. The transition defense is good. They box out when they need to because Curry got a couple of key offensive rebounds that he boxed out and was able to get a second chance, get a couple of second chance points because of his box out. So, I mean, they play excellent pick and roll defense on James Harden as well. I wanted to say that again. Like, they're a well-oiled machine. This is something that you see in a dynasty, and that's what I think they are.
And also, we talked about going into the series. The Rockets are number 1 in ISOs, number 30 in the NBA passes per game. We saw that tonight. The ISO basketball, perfect example. The first half, they had 3 24-second violations. That's all because they're just playing ISO ball. They're hunting out the one-on-one mismatch. If you notice, a lot of the screens, they were trying to hunt out Curry on the one-on-one to get him one-on-one. It didn't really work that well. And Curry even said in one of the interviews, he said, "I'm ready for it. I hope they do it every single time." You see it why? Because he knows he's got the help defense. And we've talked about it, Gonzo, all the time. The Rockets play one-on-one basketball. You cannot do this against the Warriors, right?
No, you cannot. Absolutely not.
Go ahead.
Draymond's help defense is so good. Like, just even after he got those couple of fouls, like in the beginning, like he got the tag and then he got another foul shortly after that from a 3-pointer in the corner. I think was it PJ Tucker?
It was PJ Tucker, yeah.
Yeah, he got the foul. It's like you thought that he would probably be sitting on the bench a lot of the game, but if you look at his stat line, he still finished with 9 points and 9 assists. 9 rebounds and 9 assists. Like, the dude still almost had a double-double.
He was fantastic tonight with the help defense, getting guys involved. And here's the thing, Kevin Durant. How do you, if you're the Rockets, who do you throw? I mean, you got Bamute on him, you got PJ Tucker, you're putting Chris Paul on him, James Harden. Like, how do you guard him? They don't have enough height for him.
I try to tell people a lot, man. Like, people want to discredit Kevin Durant because he came to Golden State, but we have to look at his game in different categories. And I tell everybody, is he good at the rim? Yes. And everybody wants to say LeBron's the better player. I think LeBron plays a lot of weaker competition in the East. Kevin Durant does this on a nightly basis against good teams. And the Western Conference teams we know are far superior than most of the Eastern Conference teams. Kevin Durant can go to the rack like LeBron. I think he's a better mid-range shooter than LeBron. I think he's a better three-point shooter than LeBron James. I think he's a better free throw shooter than LeBron James. And now he's incorporated defense into his game. And not to mention, even when Kevin Durant was winning MVP, I think even the MVP season here, he's averaging 5.4. He averaged 5.4 assists a game the year he won MVP. It just goes to show you that even though he was doing majority of the scoring for his team, he was still putting out 5.4 assists. So he can pass. And this year he showed you he can play defense. By far, you can say what they want. He's the best player in the NBA, in my opinion.
Interesting. We're not going to get into that because that's a whole nother debate. But I got to my man Cy in the chat, he wants to know this, Gonzo, and I'm going to obviously you're the only one with me on this, so I'm going to ask you this. Does James Harden trust his teammates right now?
I don't want to say is that James Harden doesn't trust his teammates. I think this is the problem. I think a lot of this falls on D'Antoni. D'Antoni has never been the type of coach, and we've known this from past history with D'Antoni, that he's not a good coach when it comes to making adjustments.
Yes.
I think that James Harden kind of just, I think he doesn't wing it. I think he's actually listened to D'Antoni. And I think that when he's hot, he feels that I have to keep doing this to keep my team in the game. Because let's be honest, Eric Gordon missed a few 3-pointers tonight where he should have made.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Ariza missed a few, and when you start noticing guys
and Bamute missed 3 wide open layups.
Absolutely. Look at Ryan Anderson. Ryan Anderson came in. He acted like he didn't even know how to shoot anymore.
He was wide open.
You know,
a brick.
Yeah, wide open brick. So it's like, how can I develop this trust with my players when I'm giving them wide open shots or shots that they should be making, and they're gonna brick them, and like they can't throw a rock in the ocean. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm doing what I should do to get them open, but they still can't do what they need to do to help me out. So it's like now I have to take the game in my hands. Look, another question. Where was Chris Paul at tonight? Let's not even talk about the others. Let's talk about the other superstar. Where was Chris Paul?
Yeah, and hey, let's ask this. Hey, Gonzo, how many times did he get away with push-offs and elbow checks to Kevin Durant's nuts?
Yeah, dirty. Chris Paul is a dirty player. You know what I'm saying? Then I watch on other websites, they post, oh, look at Chris Paul crossover step. That was not a crossover. It was clearly, I'm talking about, that's not even like a crossover and push him to the side. That's a clear push a guy to the ground and take a step back jumper. That's dirty basketball, you know?
Mm-hmm. He was doing it on there were 4 or 5 times we're not going to, I want to get to this because we all know, and I know it best being from Houston. When the Rockets lose, it's always the ref's fault. I'm pretty sure I'm going to see it all over Twitter and Facebook and all that nonsense. But, I mean, Gonzo, you have been very critical of NBA officials this year, rigging games and all that. You actually, before we jumped on live, you said the refs they did a pretty good job tonight, right?
For the most part, it was they missed the Chris Paul that Chris Paul push off. They missed right at the end when Steph Curry called Steph Curry for the foul on James Harden, which I don't even think he touched James Harden.
And then the backcourt, and then there should have been a backcourt on the Warriors.
You can't expect the refs to make 100% of the calls. My thing is at least make most of the critical calls. Like if you make 80% of them right, if anything, like close to 80% if you can. Mm-hmm. Tonight was probably one of the most cleanly officiated games I've seen all playoffs.
Yes, I'm with you on that. It was a really good officiated game. Like you said, they're going to miss calls. It's human nature. You can't get everything right. Obviously, the last 2 minutes, you can go to replay and all that stuff, and that's fine. But, I'm glad. So far, I haven't seen it, but I know I will. Rockets fans are going to blame the refs for this one. But when you lose by 13 points, Chris Paul's getting away with push-offs, hitting guys in the nuts with his elbow. I mean, can you really blame the refs? Was this the refs? For the Rockets fans that are going to obviously blame the refs, how can you blame the refs on this loss?
You can't.
You can't. It's the ice. It's what we've been talking about all year. ISO basketball. Look, it worked for the Rockets regular season. It's one game. Teams don't have a chance to really game plan. Best of 7. Now everybody can prepare. You are not going to beat the Golden State Warriors playing ISO basketball because let's be honest, the Golden State Warriors got the 2 best players on the floor, right? Curry and Durant are the 2 best players on the floor for both teams. That's a problem. Then defensively, they can switch everything. You've got some really good individual defenders for the Rockets, but how do you guard Kevin Durant? The dude is 7 feet tall with long arms. That's why they call him Durantula. He's so long. I mean, you saw it against they were trying to put Anthony Davis on him in the previous series, gets a Pelicans, he's hitting jump shots. So you're gonna put PJ Tucker on him and he's gonna miss shots. He's got like a 7 inch advantage on him. It is what it is. Exactly. Now I gotta ask you this. What can the Rockets do? I don't think they're gonna win this series, but obviously it's one game. What do the Rockets need to do to get back in this series to get game 2?
Well, they might have to come up with, like I said, a new scheme. I will come up with something. See, a lot of what they were getting away with in the first 2 series is that Clint Capella was able to get off. I mean, a lot of times when James Harden was going to the rack and when he wasn't able to get the clean look at the basket for the shot or for the layup, he was lobbing over everybody's heads, and Clint Capella was getting those alley oops. Those are short alley oops, but
he had 4 of 10. Although he had 4 of Capella's, I think 5 buckets came on alley oop dunks.
Exactly, but Capella won't average 15 and like 10 this series.
No,
that won't happen. So Now you have to find scoring coming from other areas. That means Eric Gordon has to step up. That means Chris Paul might have to step up. But again, I think that's still just a little too much to ask. That's why I say this series is over because it's I can get 25 from Clay, 25 from Durant, 25 from Steph, and that's 75 points there, and get about 30 some points from the bench players and Draymond Green. I can get that from Golden State. The bad part is with Houston is that you can't expect James Harden to go out there and get 44 every night. And you didn't even get Chris Paul. I don't think he got 25 tonight.
No. I think he had like 17, 18 points.
I'm
not exactly sure. It was something like that, though. I'm not exactly sure the final stat, but it was like 17, 18, maybe 19. He didn't get 20, though.
So you got 18 and 44. What's that? Let's see. 18 and 44. That's 54. So 60. That's 62 points, right, between two people. Yeah. So in order to beat Golden State, you got to come up. They got 117. You still have to come up with like another 60 points or 58 points from others and bench players just to compensate for what your two stars can't do. That's a lot to ask.
And the thing is, Eric Gordon would be the guy you'd look at, but he's been trash in the playoffs so far. He's shooting, I think, under 30% from three. That's not going to get it done.
He's terrible.
He's kind of struggled all year. You know, it's not going to get it done. And the one-on-one play, I think, is where the big problem is going to be for the Rockets. They're not, I don't see D'Antoni making a huge adjustment, but what he can't. There were a couple things I saw that I liked from the Rockets with the one-on-one ISO high pick and roll stuff that they run. You saw a couple of times James Harden cut to the basket. That's what I think they need to do. More little cuts to the basket because you're not just going to get a ton of ball. Chris Paul did have 23 tonight. Paul had 23.
Still on 25.
Yeah,
you're still expecting them to.
Yeah.
You're still expecting them to do too much between two players. You know what I'm saying?
And combined, Harden and Paul had 10 assists. That's not going to get it done.
No. But a lot of those you see tonight, James Harden went to the I think it was in the fourth quarter. James Harden had drove to the basket and he couldn't get the lob for Capella, so he tried to throw it in the corner, I think, to either Eric Gordon or PJ Tucker, and Iguodala was like a safety, roamed over to the side and snatched it. Like they pretty much know what they're gonna do. So that limits, you know what I'm saying? Like you can get away with that playing against a team like Minnesota, experience. You can get away with a team like
Utah.
Not really experienced. The center is slow. Rubio didn't play that series, so it's easy to get those. It's easy to get those looks and those easy plays, but that won't happen this series. That's going to be the difference right there.
Absolutely, and I just think I think what D'Antoni's going to have to do, he can't change the whole offensive scheme. They won the 65 games playing this way, but I think you got to get a little off ball cuts to the basket, little dives to the basket by the wing players. You saw it on one play. Harden in the fourth quarter, Harden with a beautiful cut to the basket, they get a layup. Just little things like that. But if you notice, I just don't like what they were doing, trying to pinpoint Curry almost every time he was on the floor. Let's get Curry on a switch on the ball screen and play one-on-one. Like people think that Curry's just a trash defender. He's not. He's an above average defensive player. He's not elite, but he's above average. He's going to get a hand up. He's going to move his feet. He's a smart defensive player. You're not just going to win by, hey, let's attack Steph Curry all game. We're going to win. It's not going to work that way. And then
I'm gonna tell you something.
How good was Kevon Looney when he was switched out on Chris Paul today 4 or 5 times? He
played excellent defense.
Yes.
But that's why Steph will go down as one of the. I told someone this the other day. I said Steph will go down as a top 10 player when it's over of all time.
He's already the second best point guard in the history of the game.
And I'm gonna tell you why he's gonna go down as a top 10 best player of all time. Anytime I'm dangerous, I'm that dangerous as a person, even as a decoy. Meaning that even when I don't have the ball, you still have 2 guys watching me because I'm so deadly from 3-point. I'm a game changer. You can say what you want. You can hate me. You can dislike me. You can call me soft. You can say I don't play defense. But I am a game changer because you have to account for me. And guess what? You keeping an eye on me with 1 or 2 people allows another 2 people to get involved, like your Iguodalas, like your Nick Youngs, Like your Sean
And hey,
Livingston
I'm
allow
glad you
somebody else
brought it
to get a
up.
vote.
Nick Young with 3 huge threes tonight. Every 3 he hit was big tonight. He had 9 points, but all 3 of them were big shots. Good point there. Sean Livingston hit some big shots for him. Kevon Looney with the big play off the bench defensively. Like, the Rockets just don't have that. And this is not a knock on the Rockets. I don't think they're a fraudulent team. They're just not better than the Golden State Warriors. Would you agree with that? The Rockets aren't fraudulent this year. They're just not better than Golden State.
No, they're going up against a juggernaut in a dynasty.
Yes. Arguably the greatest team ever assembled from a talent aspect. It's not shocking to me. Now, before we get out of here, I want to get to this last thing with the war with this series. What do you expect in Game 2 from the Rockets? Do you think they can come out and get Game 2 and tie this thing up?
I expect for the Rockets to come out a little more aggressive. I'm assuming they might change a few things. Like I think they're going to try to get Clint Capella more involved, more involved in the next game.
Yes,
but again, I just think Steve Kerr, we talked about this too. I think it's going to come down to adjustments. I think Steve Kerr, you got to look who Steve Kerr has played with. He's played with Michael Jordan. He's played with Tim Duncan. He's been under Phil Jackson's coach, and he's been under Greg Popovich's coach.
Yep.
So just imagine the intellect that and things that he's picked up over the years being around these individuals. So that means his ability to make adjustments is probably off the charts.
And wasn't he playing for Don Nelson when he was with the Mavericks wasn't he with the Mavericks with Don Nelson that one year?
Steve Kerr?
Yeah, another really good coach.
Probably so.
I thought I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that one. I thought it was the Mavericks. I could be wrong. If I am, I apologize. But you're correct. Keep going. That's good stuff.
But again, like I said, he knows how to make adjustments. He's been taught by the best. So I think that this is what it boils down to. It's going to boil down to coaching more than anything. And I think that's why Golden State has the edge. Look, D'Antoni's been known for never making adjustments. His idea of we're down by 10, just push the pace. Just push the pace. More threes. Just push the pace. It's not enough changing things up. Like, we always know what to expect from a D'Antoni team. It's like it's telegraphed. We know this already. Steve Kerr actually makes adjustments.
Yes, I was completely wrong. It was Portland he played for 1 year. I was wrong about it. I remember I was thinking he hit some big shots for the Mavericks against the Spurs. It was the Spurs in the playoffs. He hit the big shots against the Mavericks. That was my fault. But you're completely right. This is the one thing we've been saying about the Rockets all year. We know they've got talent offensively, defensively. They make threes. They play good defense individually with their talented defenders. Yeah, but it's Mike D'Antoni. He just does not make adjustments. He just sticks to the game plan, the bullshit 8-man rotation. I mean, you saw Golden State. What, they get 9-10 guys out there tonight? I mean, you had Swaggy off the bench. You had Looney. Who else came off the bench for them? Sean Livingston. 8. Maybe they only played 8. Did they only play 8 tonight? Swaggy,
Looney,
Livingston, Looney. Man, maybe they only played 8 tonight. I could be wrong, which is rare because usually they play more guys than that. But at the end of the day, that 8-man rotation is what. But it's the adjustments from D'Antoni, and I've talked to many Rockets fans, and I said that's the big thing. The Warriors are going to come out. They're going to beat the Rockets. What adjustments will D'Antoni make? He does not historically make good adjustments. He sticks to the game plan. You saw it last year against the Spurs, and I think that's part of the reason James Harden was so bad. I think some of it is on D'Antoni. You've got to make some adjustment. They've got to get. You would agree they have to get some off-ball movement. You don't have to be the Spurs or the Warriors off-ball with the ball movement, but you got to get some off-ball movement, back screens and stuff like that. If you notice on like three 24-second violations in the first half, that is inexcusable for arguably one of the greatest offensive teams in the history of the league stat-wise. You can't get three 24-second violations. That's terrible. It's because you're playing iso ball. Get some ball movement. Get some off-ball movement, set some off-ball screens, and you'll be okay. Nobody's saying you got to be the Warriors offensively, but if you're going to play ISO the whole series, and it's just not going to – the Warriors are going to shut that down the whole series. If they continue at this pace, Gonzo, would you say this could be a sweep?
Absolutely. I've already called it to be in the series to be over in 5. So it's possible it could be a sweep. Like I said, it just really depends on how they come out. I want to see how they come out in game 2 and game 3. Then I would say a sweep. But as of right now, I'm still going to say 5 because I think Houston is capable of at least getting the game in, and that's partially due to the fact that I think Golden State, they know that they can win, and they kind of slack off a little bit, at least the game in the series. So I'm still going Golden State in 5, but it's possible it very well could be a sweep.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good stuff, Gonzo. Good stuff. It was just you and I tonight, which is okay. Tomorrow we'll have a couple more people on because it'll be an earlier game. Are you good tomorrow after the Cavs game? It'll be earlier, definitely. Cool. That's what we're gonna do. We'll be back again. This is my plan after every game, conference finals and finals. We'll be live. We'll go live after maybe it'll be 20 minutes after the game, depending on the time. But I'll get all the links out and all that stuff. So that's what we've got. Hopefully tomorrow, no blowouts, because it's not much to talk about when it's a blowout. I actually thought, now, real quick, I want to throw out, I thought the game tonight was a lot closer than the score indicated, even though it sounds like the way we've talked, the Warriors must have beat the snot out of them by 20. No, the game was a little closer than the score indicated, but it was the Warriors just they forced their will on the Rockets, and that is what it is. But tomorrow we'll be back. I think what's game time tomorrow? Because we got the lottery at 6:30, right? 6:30 our time.
Yep.
And then I think the game will probably start. Is it 7 or 7:30 game time?
I thought it was 7:30. Maybe I might be wrong. Might be 7, but I thought it was 7:30.
Yeah. So that means we'll be on between 10:30 Central Time. We'll get out and we'll break down tomorrow's game. But everyone, I didn't want to go too long because I know it's really late, and it's gonna suck when they go back to Golden State because it's gonna be even later. But I'm gonna let everybody enjoy your evening, get your rest. I know everybody's got to get to work tomorrow on that. I know Gonzo's got to be up early. So until tomorrow, everybody enjoy your weekend, and we will see y'all tomorrow night after the Cavs and the Celtics.